Today we are going to cover looks and costumes. I've already added some sprites to the stage, and if you'd like to do this tutorial with me, feel free to pause this video and add these same sprites to your stage, as you will find them in the new sprite library. Alright, so let's get started. This is going to be a lot of fun. We'll just work our way from top to bottom with the look scripts, and upon doing so, we're also going to see how we can use costumes. Oh, let's start here. Looking at these little characters, I can see that this friend here, Perpy. Perpy looks like a friendly fish. So let's start with this first script. Perpy is the type of fish to say hello to someone, right? So when we start this program with the green flag, Perpy is going to say hello to our polka dot friend over here. How about Pokey? Alright, but we're also going to use our motion scripts that we learned in the last tutorial. So when the green flag is clicked, we're going to have Perpy go to Pokey the fish. Alright, and then remember, scratch read script from top to bottom. Pokey is then going to say, and you can change the value here by clicking in here and typing. It's going to say, "Hi there, what's your name?" for 2 seconds. Alright, let's just see what that looks like. Green flag it. "Hi there, what's your name?" Whoa, Perpy flew over to Pokey, right? That was a little too fast. So let's redo that. Let's customize that. Let's have Perpy go back to his or her spot there. Go to. Alright, that's going to be his spot. You know, I feel like Perpy is a girl, so we're going to go Miss Perpy. Alright. So Miss Perpy is going to go hang over here. And instead of instantly teleporting to Pokey and running right into her face, Pokey's going to be a girl too. Miss Pokey, not Miss Piggy. We can use the glide block that we learned about before. So glide to right there. Alright. And that current location on the X and Y axis is 15 and -75. So we're going to go 15. -75. You can press tab to just jump over to the next field, and it'll take about 1.5 seconds. Here we go. Ready? Green flag. Glide, and then there you go. "Hi there, what's your name?" So you saw that the program ran the first script, which was when I clicked the green flag, Perpy went to this location on the X and Y axis. Then it read the next script, which was glide somewhere, and then it read the next script. So watch one more time as I hit this green flag. Go to, then glide, and then say, "Hi there, what's your name?" Alright, and now as you can see, our friend Pokey doesn't look very friendly. So I think Pokey is going to have something that's not very nice to say. So you guys are going to sneak preview at the sensing block. This is a lot of fun. So I'm going to move Pokey just a little closer so they do touch. Like that. And we'll say when green flag clicked, forever if, now we're getting pretty complicated, right? Forever if touching, now what this means is if Pokey is touching Miss Perpy, then do something. Okay, and here's where our action is going to happen. So if these conditions are met, which means touching Perpy, then perform this action. Pokey is going to respond with a comment. Say, I don't know, "Leave me alone, weirdo." Okay, let's check this out. Start all over. "Leave me alone, weirdo." Oh, now you can see that the talking message came up first. That's because when I started this program, they were already touching. So let me move them apart. Green flag. And again, the message came up before Miss Perpy got to say her message. So this is where we can add controls to delay a script. So I'm going to say forever if touching, wait 2 seconds, and then say "Leave me alone, weirdo" for 2 seconds. So let's do this again. Back. Boom. "Hi there, what's your name?" "Leave me alone, weirdo." Oh my goodness, not very nice, right? So now let's get into our costumes. So for Miss Perpy has a standard costume here. Now there's two ways to change her color. So we can change her color effect with a script, or we can actually physically change their costume by painting a new one. So I'll show you both ways. Let me just duplicate using the duplicate stamp up here by clicking on this first costume, fish 1, and there we go, we have fish 2. Now I can even rename these costumes by highlighting the text here. This is going to be the purple costume. This is going to be red costume. Because what's going to happen is poor Miss Perpy is going to get a little embarrassed. So I'll simply grab my paint over here. And right now we're in vector mode. I'm not going to teach vector mode for these first tutorials. Maybe I'll do that in the advanced tutorials. So we can switch to bitmap. A little bit easier for the younger students, but here we go. Vector is a much cleaner graphic, but for now I'll stick to bitmap. So here we go. It's gonna get red. Okay, and maybe her eyes get a little pink too because they're watering. She didn't feel very good. Okay, so here's the red costume. So to use the script to change your costumes, we're going to use a little combination here. First, it wouldn't make sense if she got embarrassed before Pokey responded to her. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell her when Pokey responds that she can then be embarrassed. I think we'll use a broadcast for this. So let's go back over to Miss Pokey. We need the game to recognize when this event has taken place. So when this event has taken place, Miss Perpy can respond accordingly. So let's go over here. Where are we right now? Miss Pokey. If Miss Pokey is touching Miss Perpy, then she says a message, leave me alone, weirdo. But let's also broadcast a message. So we're going to broadcast a message. Now this is an invisible message that only the Scratch program will receive and wait. Because it's in a forever loop, if we use the regular broadcast, it would be like the message is being repeated over and over again. This time we only want it to be said once. That way we can have a reaction. Broadcast a new message. And this is called, I would call it mean words. There we go. So here are these mean words, and there's a message sent out. So this message gets sent out into the program. It's kind of like a broadcasting a radio signal. And now we need someone to receive that message. So I'm going to go to Miss Perpy, and when I receive mean words, again, this is a message coming from Pokey. When I receive those mean words, change my color effect, or I can say switch my costume. So switch costume to red. And by the way, now that we have two costumes, I need to make sure that Perpy puts on her purple costume at the beginning of this program. So when the green flag is clicked, switch costume to purple. So let me move her over here. Green flag. Okay, let's go through this code. She touches, says her comment, then she responds. When she responds, she broadcasts a message, and when Perpy received that message, she switched her costume to red. Okay, and Miss Pokey, being the thorough sprite that she is, she's continually every 2 seconds telling Miss Perpy to leave her alone. So if we just separate them, then I believe that Miss Pokey will stop telling her, there you go, to leave her alone. So isn't that cool? As long as they're touching, if they are touching and this condition is met, then she will every 2 seconds say, leave me alone, weirdo. Which isn't very nice, but it's a cool script. Alright, so let's take a look at the rest of these scripts. The think scripts are used in the same way the say scripts are. And over here, our friend Spike is going to see what happens and have a response. So Spike's swimming along over here, and Spike the fish. When Spike receives the mean words, Spike can have a different response. Spike is going to, again using the look scripts, think, how rude, for 2 seconds. So let's start this play over again. How rude. Okay, and even Miss Perpy is going to use her thinking for 2 seconds. So first she'll switch to red, and then she'll think, this fish is mean. And then after Miss Perpy thinks that, she can also move back to her location. So she can glide back to her original location. Let's put this over here. And I'll just replace the glide block with the updated location. And there we go. We'll use the change color effect next. So let's run this again. How rude, this fish is mean. Let me just do the moonwalk swim back to my space over here. And then after that, how about she changes her color effect by 25. 25 is referring to the hue. You can think of the hue as all the colors in the rainbow. Whichever color you're on, that will be represented by a number in your hue. As the hue changes, the number changes. You can even have a little loop in here. Let's say repeat this a few times so that her color changes significantly 5 times. Now let's go 4. Alright, and run it one more time so you can see what happens. Which is mean, and look at the color change. You see that? It was quick. And again, if you wanted to slow it down, you could use the wait. There you have it. We've got a little story happening. Now, over here, we've got Starfish, who has 2 built-in costumes already. So what we're going to do is add to this story. We're going to go to the green flag, and when Starfish starts off, we'll start off in the happy costume. And then we look like we have a scared costume. Alright, so green flag looks, again, switch to costume, happy. Okay, now we're going to create a brand new event. How about when Miss Perpy reaches her new spot and she's just hanging out there, a new event happens. So we'll go to our events and we're going to say broadcast a message. Now we can use the regular broadcast because it's not in a forever loop. A new message, and this is going to be shark time. Alright, broadcast shark time. Now, Starfish is going to respond to that. So, when I receive shark time, switch to costume, scared. Alright, and you're also going to get to see some animation from our shark friend when this happens. Okay, so if our shark character is going to enter the stage, then we need the shark character to be hidden when we start the game. So in the looks, you also have a show and a hide command. You almost always need both of them, so it's good to grab both of them when you bring them out. So when the green flag is clicked, hide, and when we receive shark time, show. But I believe shark should also have location, so we're going to move Sharky off the x-axis. If you remember, there's an x-axis. So we're going to go past 240, which is the edge. So when the green flag is clicked, let's give old Sharky a location. That's the go-to. Past 240. And if you recall from my other tutorials, you'll see there is an x and y axis. And the y-axis will stay at 0, so that's right in the middle of the stage, far off to the right. Okay, it's green flag, go hide and go wait over there. We also want you to point in the direction where all the fish are, the left. Okay. Now, what's really cool about Sharky's costumes, and this is how you can see how animation can work in Scratch. Typically, I like to use at least 3 costumes for an animation, but here's a simple 2 costume animation. You can see that the third one doesn't really relate to the swimming motions. So for now, I'm going to delete this third costume by clicking the X. And we have Shark A, Shark B. So what you can do is have Scratch switch these costumes back and forth for you. And instead of using lots and lots of lines of code, we know that when we're programming, a loop is the correct bit of code we want to use to repeat instructions over and over again. So we're going to say forever, and I'll just put this on a separate green flag. Forever, switch costumes, or go to next costume. Okay, now you can have it use 2 blocks if you like, switch to A, switch to B. That would work just fine, but let's simplify it. Let's just say go to the next costume because we only have swimming costumes. Alright, and this is going to move too quickly, so if I show you, yeah, spaz mode, right? Okay, too fast, buddy. Slow down. You're going to hurt yourself. let's have a little wait in there, a little delay. So when we start, go to your next costume, but then wait about a quarter of a second before you go to the next costume. There we go. And you can adjust the speed, right? If we go 1 second, it's going to go much slower. Go 0.25. All right. Okay, so we're going to start this. Sharky's going to hide and move over to his hiding place. And when he receives shark time, he's going to show and forever move negative 10 steps. So let's do that. When I receive that, show, and then forever bounce around the stage by moving negative 10 steps. That way he moves in the left direction. And motion, we have the bounce, if on edge bounce. There we go. And what we can do is a really cool technique, which is if you write a block of code or a big chunk of code, you can copy it to all the other sprites. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So if, okay, when the green flag starts, forever if they're touching, okay? If they're touching Sharky, we want them to disappear. How about that? So forever, we'll go to sensing. If touching Sharky, I don't know why I'm calling him Sharky, his name's Shark, but that's okay. Sharky, then in the looks, we know there's a hide. Okay, and since we're using hide, we need a show when we restart on the green flag. Hide. Now, instead of writing this code over and over again, you can click and drag it right into the other sprite. Make sure that it's your mouse that goes over the sprite. I go here, boom. Okay, it looks like it just returned to the workspace, but in fact, it did show up in here. And it gets a little messy, so you can right click and choose clean up. If touching Sharky. So let's go here, boom, and there, boom. And now the code is in all the sprites. Let's run this game. Bing. Hey there, what's your name? Leave me alone, weirdo. How rude. This fish is mean. Uh-oh, shark time. And here's the problem. So as you saw, our first code was incorrect. Here's the correct code to get the effect we're going for. Let me walk you through it. From the beginning we say, when the green flag is clicked, point in the direction -90, which is left, and go to this place on the x-axis, 300, which is beyond the stage, and 0 on the y-axis, which is the midway point of the stage. Next, we want Sharky to be animated, so forever change to your next costume, and in between each change, wait a quarter of a second. Now let's go to his movement. When I receive shark time, forever move 10 steps, and if you're on the edge, bounce. This is where our mistake was. Since Sharky is facing the left direction, if we were to put -10 steps, Sharky will be moving backwards into the right side of the stage, and because of the bounce command, he'll bounce off and then move right again, so he'll just look stuck. Since Sharky is facing left, moving 10 steps in a positive direction would be like this. And when Sharky bounces off the edge of the stage, he'll change his direction and continue moving in the positive direction that he's facing, 10 steps. So this is the correct code. I'm going to show you there's going to be a small error with this because of his location on the y-axis. But let me show you first. Here we go. Let's run this code. And there you go. Now notice how Sharky is only moving on the x-axis. That's because he started at a 0 point on the y-axis and will only continue to move positive 10 steps. So he's only going to move on the x-axis. If you wanted, you could have Sharky move all over the stage by adding a small turn in the degrees. Now this is a 2 degrees change in a circle of 360 degrees, which you may remember from my previous tutorials. So let's see what this does. Stop it, and we'll add this to the code, turn 2 degrees, and restart the code. Here we go. And you can see that Sharky's still moving 10 steps, but also there's a slight turn in his movement, which creates some pretty cool, unpredictable movement for your game. I hope you guys enjoyed that. There's another thing that has to do with layers. And I think I'll cover that in another tutorial because you're really going to use that when you have multiple layers of sprites and when you're using sprites as backgrounds. So that's some pretty heavy duty stuff, and I will show you guys how to use that in a future tutorial. So have some fun with the looks. I know I got into some other scripts, but that's pretty much what you got to do when you're coding. I hope you guys had fun, and I'll see you soon.